Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good morning everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another edition of the AccentTheTrader.com weekend update show. Thank you very much for tuning in, spending a couple of minutes with your day. All I ask is take a moment out, click the like button, support the channel. Again, hopefully I will continue to point you in the right direction. So as soon as the market comes in a little bit, you hear these magic words. The market sucks, right? Especially comes from newer and intermediate traders. The market sucks. The market sucks. The market sucks. Number one, the market doesn't suck, and the market is never as good as you think. The market's never as bad as you think. It is the market. What sucks is that you are most probably on the wrong side of technical analysis. And this is kind of where we segue to the video. If you guys have been watching this broadcast for the last couple of weeks, we talked about the bulls can't lose the 50-day moving average because, again, nothing ever happens good below the 50 days. So the bulls lost the 50-day moving average on July the 14th. And obviously that is not a right away of a death sentence into the buy-buys, but the longer that you sit below the 50-day moving average, the higher probability, and again, that's the whole premise of the PS60 theory, that stocks trade from supply to supply, and they'll get from demand to demand. So we talked about several levels on different videos. We talked about the 710 level, right? We lost 710. We got down to 786. If you guys remember, there was like Tuesday's or Wednesday's video. And all I kept saying is, guys, just watch that 686. Watch that 686. And all you have to do is go back video or two, watch the 686. 686 demonstrates a whole range going back to the June 9th lows, and lo and behold, we lost 710, we lost 786, and we talked about, I think it was on Wednesday's video, we talked about a potential soft landing to 682, and that's exactly where it reached, right? 682. So somebody's going to turn around and say, well, what's the big deal, Dad? I lost 686, got only to 682. Well, that's not the big deal just yet. The big deal is, well, what happens if you lose 682? 682 now becomes a very, very important area of the market because now it's the 100-day EMA. Again, if you believe in the theory that stocks trade from supply to supply, well, again, that's the point. Stocks trade from demand to demand. So here is a demand zone, stopped at 686. That 686 was lost. It stopped at 682. That was the next demand zone. So here is where it gets kind of ugly, right? Kind of ugly for investors. Okay, I'm not talking to traders. You guys are a completely different animal. That's what we are. We're traders. I think if I had to guesstimate, I think 1% of the population are two-sided traders. Everybody else are investors. So this is now towards the investor side. Obviously, for the trader side as well, so we know where to take that pivot to the downside. But here's where it gets a little bit sticky. So like I mentioned, 682 now becomes the line in the sand, okay? If we start losing 682 on the Qs, the next move is not going to be down 1 or 2 points. The next move is going to be down about 10 to 12 points, which is this next demand zone, which is roughly the 100-day SMA. So it's super, super important that the bulls hold on to the 682 level, or else you're going to see some pretty good, pretty good continuation of backtests. If you look at the NASDAQ composite down another 2% for the week, it's second consecutive week of declines, but now we're starting to lose significant levels, and that's a very, very important part. Here's what at least potentially can, I don't want to use the word save the bulls going into Monday, but at least if you saw the headlines coming in over the weekend, the United States kind of, I guess, paused military action. And then Iran came out, I think Sunday morning, that said, well, we're going to pause retaliatory strikes as well. So, on this news, yeah, you probably will get, unless there's some crazy headlines that come in between, right? Because right now it's 10:30 in the morning on Sunday Eastern time. So unless some really exaggerated headlines come in between now and the open, yeah, you should be able to get a little bit of a bounce when the futures open up Sunday night at 6 o'clock. Because again, any headline that is potentially easing any type of military action is always considered a good thing. The problem is it's not the initial spike of the overnight futures. The problem is when people are buying stocks into 60-minute supply or daily supply on that news, this is where the stocks get rejected, and then they start taking out the previous day's ranges. So the last thing you want to do, folks, and I've been saying this for years, you never, under any circumstances, ever want to buy a gap up, okay, especially on recycled, regurgitated news, because all you're going to be doing is buying stocks back into their supply where they lost support on the previous day. 9 out of 10 times, whatever stock you're going to buy into strength, you're probably going to get rejected because there's a high probability the stock lost major levels as well at some point next week. But definitely watch 682 going into this week. Again, do or die level 682 with a next measure potential 681. Obviously, you see earnings season kicked off. Netflix, awful, right? Netflix, awful. Just been in a major downtrend. Intel just had pretty good numbers. Initially gapped up about 7%. The stock got sold. Tesla has been, again, absolute godsend for all of this. I'll give you my opinion, what I think could potentially happen with Tesla this week. I've been trading for the last couple of days. Honestly, I've been trading into rejections pretty much every single day since it lost the 50-day moving average. So if there is a gap up, here's my initial thought process on Tesla. If there is a gap up on Monday, especially with the futures, I will be looking for some sort of 60-minute supply to short the stock. Do I think the stock dead cat bounce at some point this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever the case may be? I do, just because of, nothing goes straight down. The stock since July the 2nd has gone from 430 all the way down to 308. So yeah, on all metrics, the stock is quote unquote oversold. It doesn't mean it can't go lower. It just means it can't go lower on a straight line. If it does gap up on Monday, tomorrow, yes, I will be looking for some sort of rejection for potential stock to go to red and potentially to take out the previous day's low on Friday and potentially get a washout on into that 300 area. However, right, there's a flip side to this, and this is kind of how my game plan is going to be kind of fixed for the rest of the week. So any gap ups, I'm looking for a short into supply, because it's very, very rare a stock after getting drilled is going to have a gap and go, just because there's too much supply, like we talked about in the overall market. However, if they take down the stock at the open 5, 10, whatever it is, 5, 10 points, you're probably going to get a scenario that shorts will get trapped. Late and eager FOMO shorts will get trapped at some point throughout the week. It will go red to green, and that second entry above red to green should provide a $10, $15 dead cat bounce. Will that be the bottom? Probably not, right? Probably not, just because of how the earnings are playing out and blah, 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 blah. But at least at some point, there will be some sort of $10, $15 day move on a bounce level. It's just not going to pretty much be, if I had to guess, it's not going to pretty much be on a gap and go. So we're looking for rejections into strength, and we are looking for potential throw the baby out with the bathwater scenario, red to green for potential bounce. If you look at the similarities between Tesla and SpaceX, it's kind of the same thing. I know they're intertwined, but you kind of had the same thing. The stock just got absolutely murdered every single day that it got a gap up. It was faded until it hit that one day. You guys remember? Until it hit that one day that it was down 4 or 5 points at the open, and then it rallied 8, only to die obviously the next day. So that's kind of where I'm looking at, and my thought process is looking for Tesla. Any washout, throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's a potential 10, 15 point bounce on that individual day. Apple continues to be an absolute outlier, just a rock star. I mean, what are you going to say, man? This stock has no idea that the market's below the 50-day moving average. The stock has absolutely no idea that this, the Qs are literally 2 points away from a really aggressive free fall. It just continues to be very, very good. This week, you have more earnings coming out. You have Microsoft. You got Google. Google already reported, You got Meta. you got Apple. Oh my God, my meta looks terrible. You got Apple, right? You got Amazon. So, the only thing that the bulls have is at least some sort of catalyst that can revive the positivity and sentiment. Again, they bulls need a lot of work to do to getting back above, back above significant levels. But at least they have still kind of a wild card in their pocket that that the Apples, the Microsofts, that the Metas of the Amazon of the world are still there. The AMDs, they're still there that haven't reported just yet. So again, understand the dynamics, folks. Remember, the market is not supposed to be a feeder to you, right? Its only purpose there is to facilitate buy and sell orders. The market is never as good or never as bad as you think it is, right? Your own individual process is what makes the market good or the market bad. So if you're sitting there as an investor and you don't even know that we lost the 50-day moving average and we're an inch away from losing the 100-day SMA, then yeah, the market does suck because you are on the other side of sentiment. You're on the other side of technical analysis. And I don't care if you're a fundamental trader, as the greatest Seinfeld episode with Terry Hatcher, when she comes into the room to Jerry and says, they're real and they're spectacular, right? Technical analysis is real and it's spectacular. So we have a lot of value still to the downside. Be careful on any gap up, especially buying stocks that got technical damage last week, because the only thing you're going to be doing is pretty much buying them back into supply. And there's a really, really good chance that they roll over, go red, and potentially take out Friday's lows. Bulls are going to need a lot of work. I think, not only do they need to get back above 686, they need to reclaim back 697. That is the 5-day sentiment. Whoever has control of the 5-day sentiment has control of shorter term bias. Guys, have a great night, everybody. Have a great remainder of your Sunday. God bless. And with God's help, I'll see you all in the field tomorrow. Take care.